And the stream has started.
Tis it.
It is.
Does that mean we're live, Keith?
Right.
We're live.
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 Alive.
Aye. That no.
Alive.
Alive.
Yes.
I like your deck chair.
On such a momentous day.
A momentous day, is it?
Well.
What? What? Your grandparents made it.
Aye, flashing as well, yes.
Oh, I've been doing that all day. Just, it's more in hope than certainty, as you might
I
say.
never thought a deck chair.
Stream is started. Get live on the live page also.
Just as a live page, you know, that means a live page. There we go.
We're all there. Dave the Rayon says that's a big effing badge. It's not that big. Got no idea what he's talking about. Cumulus, cumulonimbus, numulocimbus.
Don't know what the organ playing's got to do with it.
On the day you take up organ playing with Keith, apparently, says Simon.
Two old men sitting in deck chairs. One says to the other, "It's nice out, isn't it?" And the other says, "Aye, I will put it away, there's a bobby coming."
God. Oh, dear. Hey, God.
With Tech UK, he's obviously a friend of yours, Sav. I managed to get a nickel build in a Billow V2. Good Christ, it's tight. And for those of you who, there you are, there she is. There's Sav and Keith.
Hello.
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 Hello. Don't tell me the audio's gone. Oops, sorry, dog.
There's a dog there. Yeah.
Dogs.
Disco Des says, "Happy birthday, have a pint or two of cider for me." No, I have my mug that was made for me by my grandsons, which, he said, going to camera 4, as you can see, is full of coffee, which might have other stuff in it, only it's not coffee.
You don't normally drink that.
What, gin?
Yeah.
Of course I do. There's no wrong with gin. I like gin. In the scale of the spirits, you see, sherry makes you merry.
But that isn't a spirit.
Whiskey, what isn't?
Sherry.
I know.
Oh, sorry.
I'm saying in the scale of spirits.
All right.
Sherry makes you merry. Right? Brandy makes you randy. Whiskey makes you frisky.
Yes.
Gin makes you sin, but rum's the one you want.
Right. Because you're not a whiskey drinker, are you?
No, not these days. No. I like the odd nip, and then a whiskey afterwards.
Quite.
Very tough here.
Nothing straightforward, is it, Sal, for this guy?
No.
What?
Yes, Simon's right. There's not been an alcohol made that DD doesn't drink.
That's true. Dave the Rayon says short and TI is scary kids. I shorted one out over the weekend, last weekend. It was fine. It just, cider makes you wider. Beer turns you, never mind.
I think I better just ration you with this down here.
Passes the bottle up.
No?
Passes the bottle up.
What for? You've got some?
Just passes the bottle up, not the lemonade. See, I need to show people. Before we get into the real show, see how nice my sister-in-law and brother-in-law is to me.
Which sister-in-law?
Catherine.
All right.
Oh, yes. Catherine has no problem. She buys the products of Charles Tanqueray and Co. And gives them, and it says on the back, drink responsibly. So I'm not drinking out of wet glasses. That's why I'm drinking out of a mug.
You want me to put it back now?
No, it's fine there.
All right.
I can live with that. That's all right. There's no wrong with that. Oh, Simon, no.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ashley.
Mother's ruin.
Dave the Rion, do us a favour, mate. Do it again and film it, and then send us it. And Leanne Lawless just got Skyped with a server problem. Apparently our fish and chips is going to be late.
Oh dear.
An imaginary echo there. Hi, everyone, she says.
Why do you have lemonade and not tonic?
Because I
With
hate
it-
tonic. No, tonic's horrible.
Oh, I like tonic.
It makes me
I mean,
teeth
it's
itch.
tonic, ice and lemon, isn't it, Sav?
No.
That's the drink.
No. It's gin, more gin, a little bit more gin, and top it off with lemonade. Slice of lemon, bit of ice. Pole dancer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bees in.
She is.
Berenice. Should have seen everybody in Yorkshire, in Harrogate, part of the way to let Berenice and the Jiggle come through. It was lovely. Missed out on that, Keith.
Yes.
Tell you, man. Apache. Oh no. Apache server, I remember that from a million years ago. The correct answer is a glass of
Glass
wine.
of
It
wine.
is, yes,
Yes.
exactly. That's right, that Keith, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes, that's a
Oh,
bit of sophistication, hasn't it?
said glass should be a foot tall and topped with a cork. Screw cap, it's easier. Is that Ridian in?
It is.
Looks like it, yes. Isn't it? Wasn't it?
Couldn't it? Didn't I?
What's your favourite drink, Sav?
Oh, I don't drink very often.
But when she does,
I used to like the odd G&T.
I've got a taste for sparkling
yeah, but what
water
she's
now.
not telling you is that's Graham and Trevor.
Well. Yeah.
Sparkling water.
Nice.
Marco's in as well.
Thanks for the
Marco.
drop of whiskey in.
You alright, Marco? Nice to see you, son. Hope you're alright. Down there in Barnsley, like, Happen, Civvy, the nose. I'm not a Philistine Wraith Tech. Even the very best wines now come with screw caps in there.
It's really clean looking.
It is, it's white with blue
I
stripes.
see that, yes.
Go fast the stripes.
I'm not colourblind.
I am.
I know you are.
But it's white with blue stripes because I know because it said so. But it's a pearlescent white, don't you know?
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
I now have one of each colour.
You think?
I bloody hope so. If I can't tell the difference between white and black, I'm in deep doo-doo.
You are indeed.
Marco van Basten says, oh, it's in the room. In it.
In it, brah.
Don't talk about bras. I still don't get that. I mean, how you can look at a bloke and say bra? What would make you think a bra when you're looking at a bloke? Seriously. Shut up, David. Thank you, Rog. You said happy birthday, Day. That's nice. Yes. Sputs is in.
Hi.
There's a lot of these people we met over the weekend. That was lush. Thank you, DW. Divinity Well. Divinity Well. I know how to say it really.
You got there in the end, aye.
Lydian Man was going to give it tonight a miss, but I need some edumification on a certain consultation. And the hairs on my dicky dido go down to my knees.
Simon says moves.
Thank you, Miles. I shall have a good one. Youngster, I like him. DD doesn't look a day over 40.
Oh, God.
Specsavers. High Street, every town.
Just under 5 minutes.
Well, that's just over 4 then.
Aye.
Dave's is black with a condom. Those films never sell well. Oh, the AVIC. Right, fine. How long before we have a feed from above you in the studio for the battery will only run 20 minutes. We'd only get a segment and I've only got 2 batteries, so we can't do a whole show that way.
Until you buy a 3rd battery.
And a 4th.
Aye.
No, there's no cider anti-M. I shall show you what I've shown everybody else. I've got a glass of water, look. Glass of water made by Charles Tanqueray and Company. Charles Tanqueray and Company water. It's much the best stuff. I do like that. 40 inches, what?
Do you prefer it to Gordon's?
Well, I do, because every time I ask Gordon for a drink, he just won't give us one. I do, I prefer the Tanqueray to Gordon's, yes. Tanqueray 10 is delicious. It's gorgeous.
Aye.
Centimetres, Simon, Jester 2109. It has to be centimetres. Any man that says 40 inches, he's frankly lying. I've got to show you the look on Sav's face.
My Coca-Cola is very nice.
She's sitting there thinking, why did I say yes?
I could have been watching a film about now.
About what?
Anything?
Marco van Basten would rather drink his own piss than drink gin. Can somebody give Marco's lass a quick telephone call and tell her he needs a big glass?
Just under 3 minutes.
Okay.
It's the only drink that leaves me with a headache. Gin. Queer that.
That's beer. No, sorry. I like gin. I've always liked it. Gin and lime was my staple when I was a young one. Tried some Durham gin.
Oh, is that stuff? Well,
Oh, I'd rather suck the juice out of a cow pot.
we've got that now.
I know. Oh, have you tried it?
No.
That's lovely. It's gorgeous, Keith. You'll love it.
No. Just in a little bottle. I
Yes.
thought it was Yorkshire gin.
Was it Yorkshire gin or
Not
Durham gin?
Yorkshire.
Well, either way, frankly, it's all right. I mean, it's okay. Put plenty of other stuff in it and it's fine. You know, like a sausage or...
You could tell it was sort of distilled in the fields.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Oh.
I'm still reading chat. Marco's bringing something to the NEC. I hope you mean gin and not your... Oh, fuzzy hands in on it now. Sheep was very hot, she was, making such a racket. She looked at her thick fleece and bleated, "Whose coat is this jacket?"
We're not back to that.
I love it. I think it's great. Right, settle down, David, because you've got serious stuff to do at the start of the show. Would even help if you could see your pointer. There it is. Going to start with Wales, isn't it? Haven't I? Wasn't it? Couldn't it? Didn't I? Bronwen. Right then. Yes.
See,
Hanwy.
Myfanwy. Angharad.
1 minute.
Lovely. I cannot see from my juice bottle. That's ridiculous. How does this work? Come here, you bloody thing. Where is it? There it is. I am poised. Sav, you've just typed into chat, need something bigger. There's no pleasing some people.
It's not this. 30 seconds. "20 seconds.
20 seconds. Just time for a quick swig.
10 seconds.
B's after another pen. She's worn the last one out.
5,
4.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Click.
UK are proud sponsors of the Haze Hour on Vapor Trails TV.
Almost got
Oops. We were so wrapped in trying to work out whether we'd hit it exactly on 9 o'clock by Apple time that we were watching and listening, and I forgot to press the make no noise button, because there's a make no noise button on the keyboard that you press and then it makes no noise. Did you know that, Keith?
I didn't know.
Yes. Before we go any further into the show, I'm going to apologise now because I've been on the pop. I've got no idea why. According to Keith, it's a momentous day. I don't know what the hell. Well, it is a momentous day, but not the way you think it is.
Oh, I've had it in my diary for weeks.
Have you?
Oh, yes.
It's your fault, is it?
Yeah,
Ah,
it's been written in, yes.
Has it? Shock horror probe. We've got a packed show tonight, and there's going to be choices. There's going to be choices for chat tonight, Keith.
All right.
Yes, there are some things that are written in stone. Well, on web pages that I'm going to cover. The usual flit round what's been going on, and if anybody doesn't know what's been going on today, where the hell have you been? There's that. We're going to be looking at that, and a quick run through it with a couple of words of advice, which I'll try and get out before the gin properly hits. And then we've got choices, because there's all kinds of stuff I have here that I picked up. One that is going to get looked at is the Atom Venom, which is a beginner's sub-ohm. Marco made mention on Tuesday. We'll go into rather more depth this evening, and I will show you why I'm quite keen on them, I have to say. I've got a number of different tanks, and we've got some video from the e-cigarette exhibition that happened in Harrogate when I sat down with a couple of young ladies from Sigeli in China, and I want to show you what happened after, rather than what we thought we were going to film. So you'll see what we thought we were going to film, and then you'll see what happened after. And it's all quite interesting, and that'll come up after the tittles. So there's nothing technical tonight, Keith.
Oh, that's a great relief.
It's just as well, because David...
No re-wicking or anything? Nothing like that?
Absolutely no. No, there's no re-wicking or any of that. The reason being, I'm already 3 sheets to the wind, and if I'm not 7 to the wind by the end of the night, I will be, if you see what I'm saying. No, not the solar powered e-cig, Simon. I'm not looking at the solar powered e-cig, because quite frankly, if you've got it in your pocket, there's not going to be any light on it, is there?
Nothing in my pocket.
I know there's nothing in your pocket, and that's the way it's going to bloody stay.
Well,
At least until after the titles, which will be coming up as soon as I click the right button, which apparently is that one there. So, hello.
hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. What do you laugh?
You're building your part up, aren't you? And welcome to the Haze Hour. Yes, so here we are on the Haze Hour on the 2nd of July. I didn't even have to look. It's the 2nd of July 2015.
Well, you'd have to know that, wouldn't you?
Some bugger's 60. I've got no idea who or how. How? 60. 60's the new 80, you know. Did you know?
I didn't.
Aye, 60's the new 80. 70's the new 30.
All right.
And 50-50's the new way to really blow clouds, apparently.
So do you feel any different?
No, it's only Jill.
60. Yes.
I don't feel any different to the way I felt yesterday.
I wouldn't have
Felt
expected.
bloody lousy yesterday. What a rotten day it was. Thunderstorms and all kinds.
Must have been the heat.
It was definitely the heat. It's been hot. It's been warm, and everybody was complaining. I was out there lapping it up. I was. It was gorgeous. I said to Jill, I says, it's nice out, innit? She says, will you put it away? Dave and Joyce are in the garden.
Now, it's funny, I looked through the shower room window.
Did you?
Yes, and you were zonked out, asleep. Yesterday.
Could you see us from the shower room window?
Oh, yes.
Oh, shite, I'm going to get that wall built up.
I just glanced out to look at the garden.
Yeah,
and there you were.
Did you have the binoculars out as well, or the telescope? Which?
No, neither.
Uh-huh.
No.
Cleaned your glasses, had you?
Yes.
Shall we get serious?
I think so.
All right, let's get serious. We'll get serious. Look, Kirsty Williams has been on. She says e-cigarettes and cigarettes should not be lumped together. This is Kirsty Williams, AM, who is a Welsh Liberal Democrat Assembly member for Wales. I will read the rest in English because if I do it in Welsh, I'll just get it wrong. Apparently, you could say a fob erail. I have no idea what that means, but that's what Rob Tyfey's just said in chat. Look, the Welsh Liberal Democrats have hit out at Labour's plans to treat e-cigarettes the same as tobacco cigarettes when banning their use in a wide range of public places. Giving evidence to the Welsh Assembly's Health and Social Care Committee on the Public Health Wales Bill, the Health Minister announced his intention to ban the use of e-cigarettes in playgrounds and on hospital grounds alongside tobacco cigarettes. I don't need really to go through the rest of that. Suffice it to say, Drakeford, the tosser that he is, I'm politically incorrect tonight and I couldn't give a monkey's, he's decided that he's getting a little bit of traction, God only knows where, because nobody in Wales thinks he's right. So he's decided to expand these little exploratory measures to try and get rid of e-cigs everywhere you can think of. Because basically, he's a numpty. So, if you've already signed up to the petition, you might have had an email. If you haven't, go and sign up. But if you have already signed up, you might have had an email asking you for money. And basically what they're saying is as follows. They'd like 20 quid, but if you look at it the way you see the adverts about sponsoring nippers here, there and everywhere across the globe, every little helps, to quote Tesco. So there is a URL which will go into chat almost as I speak that you can click to donate. They want £5,000 in order to be able to get 100,000 signatures on the petition by sending people out door to door. Go back to camera one, David. That's the way to do it. So, the idea is to donate. They're going to put £5,000 into this. They're going to send people out. They're going to get 100,000 signatures, and they're going to do their best to bury Drakeford. Now then, I'm now going to be speaking to every vendor everywhere in the UK, but particularly those in Wales. Get your hand in your back pocket. Tell your accountant to go and bury his head and put as much money as you can into that effort that Kirsty Williams is spearheading. Do it. Whether you agree with the Lib Dems or not, this is about e-cigs. This is about freedom. This is about setting a precedent in the devolved governments of the UK. Do it. I reckon it takes 10 vendors to fund the lot. Please, 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 for me, if nobody else, for you and for your customers, do it. Call it my birthday present. Instead of sending us a present, it's like it was at me funeral. Let's just say, right, instead of buying flowers, send some money to Kirsty Williams and let's get this thing done. All right? Let's do it. That's the first thing. What do you reckon, Keith?
Sorry, I haven't been able to get beyond the point that there are Liberal Democrats in Wales. That was a sort of sticking point with me.
No, they're there. And I'm here to tell you, for a sure and certain fact, Kirsty Williams is a good egg.
All right.
Yes.
Well, yes.
She's been extremely supportive of e-cigs, and she's holding Drakeford to account every chance that she gets.
Oh, well, she deserves support.
She definitely does, you're right. So if you can, if you have the wherewithal, you know what to do, the links are there, go for it. And there's some big vendors in Wales, when I think about it. Isn't that right, Sav? She's nodding. Look, she's nodding. Keep nodding, Sav.
No.
She's nodding. She's definitely nodding. Some big vendors in Wales. do it, please. It's actually all of this, you know, it's for your benefit. And those
Can I stop nodding now?
Aye.
Can I stop?
Okay. Yes. What's this? Neil Robinson's just said, ha! I have no sense of smell. I'll just have to drink the juice if they ban vaping in vape shops. Well done, Drakeford. I love it. Hey?
Sorry, I was laughing at that.
Yeah, it's well worth laughing. It's well worth laughing. It would be, Spiritus Vapes has said, what have I missed? Who needs my money? Kirsty Williams in Wales. The link's there. Put it in again, please. Just keep banging it in. Every 10 minutes or so throughout the show, keep banging it in. Let's get that going on. Right, let's go on to the big stuff. The bit that everybody didn't think was going to happen, but it did today. It was supposed to happen tomorrow, but no. Somebody at the Department of Health says, nah, it's Dave's birthday, let's spoil it. So they did. Look at that. Draft regulations on the sale and manufacture of tobacco products. Now, you would think, wouldn't you, when they've said something like that, it's on the sale and manufacture of tobacco products, what the hell's e-cigs got to do with that? Well, this is all about the implementation of the Tobacco Products Directive. I'll scroll a bit, right? The documents you need to read are as follows. That bottom one, the draft statutory instrument, the Tobacco and Related Products Regulations 2016. And then you go and read the consultation on implementation of the revised Tobacco Products Directive 2014/40/EU. You look at the equalities analysis and the impact assessment if you can make any sense of it. It is not yet complete, isn't the impact assessment. Bottom line on it is they are consulting as to how the implementation of the Tobacco Products Directive ought to go ahead. And in our case, specifically with regard to, guess what, Article 20, in other words, about e-cigs. Now, that button, David, right. I need you, if you will, please, to listen very carefully because I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to say this without causing potentially an issue. I've read through the draft legislation. And there may be a mistake in there. Call it a typo if you will. I'm not going to tell you where it is. I'm not going to tell you what it is. What I am going to tell you is anybody that's been following this will probably spot it quite quickly. I don't think it's something we need to be drawing attention to if you follow my drift. What I'm going to say is be careful with your tweets. Be careful with your posts onto forums. Be careful with your posts onto the Book of Faceness and various other places. If anybody needs more information, catch me on Monday and I'll try and fill you in. But I think we need to be a little bit careful at the moment. It might be a mistake or it might be accidentally on purpose, if you see what I'm saying. And I'm going to just leave that little bit there. Suffice it to say that what I've seen, what I've read through in all of this, is basically that they are going to implement the TPD pretty much as it was written without gold plating it. The downside to what I've seen, and I found this out at the weekend, is that the MHRA is going to be the competent authority to which all of the documentation and all of the pharmacovigilance and everything else, the surveillance and everything else has to be reported. So it's the MHRA that's going to be doing the biz. Now, if anybody wasn't aware of all of this, if everybody thought, well, it's not going to happen because it hasn't been passed yet, it has. It's implemented on the 20th of May. If you read through the documentation, you will see that there's a damn good chance we're going to lose access, not us, the new vapers are going to lose access to the stuff that you and I rely on a day-to-day basis. It's also true to say that innovation is likely to be stifled and badly stifled because the fact of the matter is there is this whole 6 months notification malarkey, and that's all covered in all of that document. Now, one of the things that stuck out like a sore thumb, like indeed a sore at a wedding, was that they think that the Sigelei market is 60% of the whole vapor products market. 60%. Now, I'm absolutely certain in my own mind that that's not the case. The Sigelei market is not 60% of the whole e-cig market. I'm absolutely convinced of that. But it does mean that vendors need to look at their responses to this consultation, and every vendor needs to respond, and you need to disabuse the Department of Health and everybody else of this 60% figure. In other words, you've got to be able to say, look, 90% of what we sell is tanks, and the tanks are 5mm, 6mm, 7mm, whatever size they are. 90% of what we sell is generation 3. They've got to be disabused of this whole 60% of it.
But where do the Department of Health get that sort of statistic from?
Well, if you read through the documentation, it says that they are actually making a guess. They're making a stab in the dark because they really don't know. They can't put a figure on what the costs are or anything like that.
Yeah, but surely if they're producing a so-called authoritative document, they research that thoroughly before they publish it.
Well, that's why there's a consultation. Because they know they don't know. They are aware. They are aware that they are ignorant, and I don't mean that in a like, you know, not as an insult. They're ignorant of the true facts, and that's why there's a consultation. They need to know what the facts are, and the people best placed to be able to give them those facts are the vendors. The vendors know what they're selling.
Yes, but why raise the six? Right, if they're consulting, why put this figure of 60% in at all?
Because that's the figure that they've estimated, given the data that they've got from the likes of Nielsen. So the Nielsen estimates are that in places like garages and newsagents, which you've got access to, Nielsen does a lot of stuff in garages and newsagents and Tesco and Sainsbury's, right? From what they're saying there, 60% of what's sold in those places are Sigeleis. Well, that's not exactly scary thought, is it? Because mostly what they stock in there is Sigeleis.
Yeah.
What they don't know, what they can't follow, is what happens online and what happens in vape shops, and they say that in the consultation document.
Right.
They don't actually know what's going on in the likes of Phoenix Vaping in Siam. Thank you, by the way, birthday present. Thanks, lads. They don't know what's going on in there. They don't know what, you know, Joe Soap from Siam goes into Phoenix and buys. They haven't a clue, because Nielsen doesn't get there. There are no returns. Right? The taxman knows how much he makes, how much VAT he's got to pay, how much corporation tax needs to be paid and stuff like that, but as to how many Vapor Sharks or how many EVIC VTs or how many whatever, not a clue. Taxman doesn't know. Why would he? It doesn't go down that far. So the government isn't aware of what the actual market is. And I've got no idea how many vape shops there are in the country now, but I'm thinking a lot.
Yes.
I'm told there's 43,000 jobs, 44,000 jobs in e-cigs in the UK. That says to me, if you take out the big vendors, the big, you know, online and juice manufacturers, there's a lot of shops out there. There's going to be easily 2,000, 3,000, maybe 4,000 shops out there.
Yes.
Vape shops. And I'll go on. I'll bet you next week's wages, right, that none of those vape shops flog much in the way of Sigeleis. It'll all be CE4s and higher, if you like, and the government needs to know that. So it's kind of my first take on that. We need to let them know. We need to reply. We need to respond. We need to inform government, and we need to keep making the point that the TPD is a festering pile of fetid dingo kidneys and should be thrown out, and they need to have the courage of their convictions, and everybody, government included, should be backing the Totally Wicked challenge. And I'm sorry I forgot to put that link into our chat earlier on, but everybody knows where it's at. Get everybody you can to sign up to that as well. Have I ranted enough?
I think you made your point.
I think I've made me point. Have I made me point? I'm looking at chat. Gillis says, I'm going to read this out because he's right. MHRA is staffed and funded by Big Pharma and is certainly not competent. How can they be allowed to advise the government? Shockingly corrupt. I tell you what, you need to tell them that in your response. Word it nicely. You know what I'm saying? Probably better take some adverts and then we can get into the good stuff. That's enough of the doom and gloom. You'll be hearing a lot more about the consultation as it goes on. Should be aware it finishes. Everything's got to be done and dusted and submitted by September the 3rd. I, for one, will be doing a personal response. I suspect VTTV will be doing like a corporate response, and I know for a certain fact that the new Nicotine Alliance will definitely be responding, and I've been told today, so is Cancer Research UK and ASH and other people who have actually got the right words on the hymn sheet. Right, adverts?
Yes.
Right, adverts. We'll be back in 2 ticks, and when we come back, it'll be all sweetness and light because I'll have poured another gin. See you in 2 minutes.
e-leaf UK are proud sponsors of the Haze Hour on Vapor Trails TV.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vaportrails.tv.
e-leaf UK are proud sponsors of the Haze Hour on Vapor Trails TV.
Covered it last night. Right, we're back. I was talking to me producers. I need to stop doing that when we're that close to coming back. I just said I wasn't going to cover the juices thing because it's been covered enough by the rest of the team. They've done a cracking job on that. I'm proud of them. I really am. Right, now, you're going to like this. At least I hope you are. Keith will. What are you, Keith?
Sorry.
Little tiny weeny Chinese girls.
All right. Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. That walk, you know that little tit thing they do?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
they were doing that. Now, when we were down at Harrogate in Yorkshire, as we were, of a weekend like, we were sat in place looking around, you know, to show. Stop it, David, that's ridiculous. Right, look. Massive, big, huge Sigeli stand, and they had new product that they were launching or showing. There was none for sale, and as Dave and Marco will attest, Dave Kitson that is, and Marco will attest, and I know Marco's in chat, we kept on saying, go on, give us a 150 watt one please for review, have a look at it and, you know, let our viewers see what it's all about. Got and say we can't, but you can do it here. So finally, on the last day, on the Sunday, in the afternoon, Lee Yam and her friend came along to the stand with a Sigeli 150 that has temperature control and a really complicated interface, I thought at the time, and I was sober. I'm not now, but I was sober at the time. So we sat down, decided to film a look at it. Now, let me tell you straight up, when I say this is getting hot, it was getting hot. What we did was, Dave and I left the cameras running afterwards, and there was a conversation to be had, and I want you to be party to that and see what went on. So here it comes. Sit back, put your feet up, get yourselves a gin and lemonade in a nice cup that's been decorated by your grandsons, one of which is 2.5 and the other one, well, he's got 6 teeth.
6 months?
6 teeth at 6 months. Little bugger, he's got more than I have.
Couldn't say that.
Well, it's true. He has been biting his mum and all, you know.
All right.
Yeah, shocking little sod. I'd have done exactly the same. Have a watch at this and enjoy. Dave, i.e. me, get big fat lad, 2 little Chinese girls, and a Sigeli 150 watt temperature controlled mod. So I'm joined by Li Yam, or Lisa, from Sigelei in China, and she's brought me this 10 to 150 watt device to use.
Yeah.
When will this be available in the UK? Very soon?
Yeah. Very soon?
Soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Very soon.
So they're not actually available in the UK at the moment, but we've got one to have a look at, so let's see what we can see and see how it works. I should point out it's also got the new Sigeli sub-tank on there, the Elite tank. So let's switch it on, and we're in dual mode, it says here. And do we want to go to power mode? No, we'll go in dual mode, so we press there. Unit F this one is, unit C, so I'll leave it in F, that's where it was. Temperature 557, let's drop this down just a tad to 520. And we've got a nickel coil in here. So keep it pressed and it speeds up, 520, okay. Exit. System's on and we're ready to go, I think. So let's try a vape, see whether it works. It's tight. Temperature 520. It's just going round them. Can you make it work? Okay, so when we get to that exit or on, we're at exit or on, and we can see here that we're set at 48.4 joules, 4.5 volts, 23, it's 0.23 ohms, and we're going to go 521 degrees. So let's give it a vape and see what happens. That would appear to be rather pleasant.
Of course.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and turn it up a little, if I can. And again, you'll be able to see by pressing the up button, the joules is moving here. And we're at 50 joules, which I think is the maximum. And I suspect that that equates to 200 watts. Again, on a nickel coil. Let's give it a go. That's very hot.
Yeah.
That is very hot. So, and only 5.6 volts, 0.23 ohms, and temperature's kicking in. Try again. That's burning. It's actually burning. So, system on, system off, system on. Right. Switch it on again. I'm going to knock it back down to where it was. Down to 40 joules, 3.3 volts. See how that works. It's still burning. So 521 is obviously way too hot. Dual mode. Power mode. Okay. That's set at 150 watts, which is a bit hot for me. So let's knock it down.
Yeah, maybe you can turn it down.
Yeah, it was very, very hot.
Yeah.
And we'll go down to something a bit more sensible, like 75 watts, and see how that works. See whether that's a bit more palatable. That was 200 watts, that was. Still hot. Given that I would normally run at around about 40 watts, let's see what happens there. That's close enough. In fact, it's exactly 40 watts. On that tank, that's an awful lot better. There's no burning. So it looks as though I hadn't been getting temperature control right on this, and this is very, very new, and we have no instructions in English to decide how to make it work in temperature mode. That's quite nice. So Lisa, can we get one sent across when they're ready to be made available?
Yeah.
And then we can have a look at it and get it into do a full review?
When it's available, we can do it.
You can do that for me.
Okay.
That's lovely, thank you very much. Thank you for letting me look at it. I want to look at it in a lot more depth. But as a first look, without instructions, this is a lot more complicated than stuff we've been used to in the past. It actually needs me to break the rule of a lifetime and read the instructions. This is David Dawn for vaportrails.tv here in Yorkshire with Lisa. Thank you very much.
Lisa, you're a star. I don't know about the guy next to you then.
I did a bit of zooming in, zooming out, up to you.
Excellent.
So give me a bit of cut through that now.
Yes. I prefer the bottom on this one to the one I've got.
Good. You next?
Let's more out.
Come on, guys.
So
it's good for you, the temperature.
You can see?
It's how?
yeah, I couldn't get the temperature down.
You ever seen this kind of camera?
Oh,
Headphones, yeah, listen.
哎，周野萌怎么把这个弄下来啊？把什么弄下来？把那个温度调低。调温度是这么。Press button, enter into the menu, and here. Oh, juice. Yes. And juice. Yeah, this one. And also this is for the temperature.
All right. All right, right.
It's okay.
Then you can adjust the temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't want to go above 527.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Also, and then if you then okay, then you can adjust.
Yeah. Zero.
Adjust the drill.
Yeah. Okay. It's the temperature seems not to be kicking in.
A temperature cannot adjust on.
That mustn't be nickel. That's not nickel.
Not nickel?
No, that's dry. It's burning.
Burning.
Yes.
Yeah, it's burning.
It shouldn't be.
Burning.
No, it's nickel. You mean the resistance? The resistance point two.
But it's burning.
Yeah.
Maybe the temperature is so high.
Yeah.
Well, even at that temperature, 520, it's too high. It should be below 520.
Okay, I see.
怎么会这样？ So you need to down
right?
down the temperature.
Down the temperature. Okay.
For it.
Okay. 480.
Yeah.
Okay. So just on air, it's burning.
It's too hot. Yeah, it was.
Hot, but it's not burning. Maybe the temperature is too high.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Okay, it's okay.
Right, let's try it now. 480, let's see.
Try again. Still burning?
That is really burning.
What's wrong?
You try it.
No. Yes, I know. But maybe when the temperature is high, it's already burning. It's burning.
No, that is producing really nasty. You try it, it's nasty. It's not good. Very, very small hit. It's not good.
Oh my god.
真的烧了是吧？
Holy serious.
You okay?
No.
Yeah, maybe
这怎么回事啊？
we have to take back.
It's not. It's not.
Actually, this is not the final result.
No, it's not working very well at all. Try that one at the same temperature.
Just want to know
with.
Is anything wrong with atomizer or the body?
Well, there's an easy way to find out.
Oh, what's wrong with this? 真的呛喉咙好痛。So when you are
on camera,
that hurt.
Oh, maybe when the temperature is high, it's burning.
Yeah, but at 480 degrees, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
No.
And how about the jewel? Is the red jewel?
It shouldn't make any difference. No matter how much power you put in, the temperature should stay below 480.
Try small.
I'm going to try small.
Try small. Okay. Burning? No burning. Something wrong with the atomizer.
Yeah.
Burning?
No.
Try.
Okay.
It's okay, yeah. It's all right.
No, I just cannot smoke with nicotine. This is with.
Oh, it's with nicotine.
I
yes.
cannot. I cannot. Is this
That's
only?
okay. That atomizer.
Something wrong with the atomizer.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to. I think we need to change the core.
I think you do.
Yeah. So nothing wrong with the body.
No,
right?
that doesn't appear to be.
Okay. I'm so sorry that
That's all right.
when you film making the filming you are burning.
No.
It was beginning to burn. Yes, that was why I said I needed to turn it down and get the temperature down. When you demonstrate these things, you must keep the temperature below 520. Absolutely must. Anything above that, and you'll get more of that burning going on. But it's not sensing the temperature on that at all.
But this is for temperature. Oh, 天哪！
是200啊，220啊。
Oh, we're back. That took me by surprise, just a little bit. What do you reckon of that?
Poor girls.
Poor girls?
Yes, I mean, they're doing their best, weren't they?
They were, but they didn't know how it works, really.
Obviously not.
We are told that was a pre-production prototype. I bloody well hope the production version works quite nicely. It's actually comfortable in the hand. Takes 2 batteries. Sigeli have their own batteries. One assumes they are tested. They have a 75 watt and 150 watt. And Lisa, Lee Yam, promised me, as you saw, that she would send me both. They're going to come. I'm going to give them a right kick, and I will read the manual. I will read the instructions and find out how to work the damn thing, and I'll make it work. If it will work, and if it won't work, we'll tell you here first. But that was just to let you see it's kind of what goes on. I mean, I try to be as transparent as I possibly can. Would you have enjoyed that, Keith?
Yeah, it was quite an experience. So, I mean, had they come across from China, or were they sort of based here in the UK, do you think?
No. They came across from China and they had a minder.
All right.
On the Friday night at in Yorkshire, in Harrogate,
Yes.
there was a do for exhibitors after the event, like an exhibitors party, and their minder went everywhere with them. This bloke, right?
Right.
And we recognised them. They recognised us. And we're waving and all this kind of stuff, like you do, making friends as you do, and they only hung around the dirty old British man for so long, and then off they went. They had to be in bed by 11 o'clock.
Right.
But that was the same when I was a lad, My mum always said, if you're not in bed by 11 o'clock, son, come home. That's what she always said. What?
Right, yes.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right. I have that tank. I have it here. And what I'll do, which camera? That one. What I'll do next week, I'll have a look at the Sigelei tank. I've got to tell you, it's really rather. Hang on, camera 4. Do camera 4, David. You've got one. Use it. There you are. That's it. That's the Sigelei tank. I'm not going to go into any depth on it. I'm not really looking at it much tonight. I've got my completely clear, colourless juice in there, but I shall have a vape on it. And just so you know, bunk. No, is that the right way up? No, it isn't. That's the right way up. You can see I've got it set at 520 degrees. That's the most you should go. 40 watts. It's 0.25 ohms. It is nickel. So I'll give it a blast, and then folks can see how it works, like you do, and we'll use that as kind of a link to go into the adverts, because I'm feeling that way inclined tonight. Yes, I might be slightly tipsy, but I'm still not bloody stupid. Here we go. See you in 2 minutes.
e-leak UK are proud sponsors of the Haze Hour on Vapor Trails TV.
Dripper selection boxes now come in 0 and 3mg strengths. So tell Dripper the kind of flavours you like and we'll send you 70ml of some of the world's most exciting flavours every month. With free delivery anywhere in Europe, treat yourself to a Dripper box today.
Dripper.co.uk.
LP Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
e-leak UK are proud sponsors of the Haze Hour on Vapor Trails TV.
And we is back in the room. There's no fade out on them,
All right.
I just thought I'd tell you that. Now the question is, do I give chat a choice, or do I just do what I think I ought to?
Do what you think you ought to.
You sure?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yes.
Right. Now then, while we were there, go to camera 1, David. There you go. While we were down in Harrogate in Yorkshire, where apparently sandwiches are £5. And the latte out of the machine takes 2.5 minutes to create and isn't very nice when you get it. The other stand was nicer, let's put it that way. We were approached by people, a lad called Sam, lovely lad actually, really nice lad, get this on camera properly. And Marco kind of alluded to this on Tuesday night. And this is it. This is the piece in question. It's called the Atom Venom. Marco's got the plastic tank version, which I'm going to be getting hold of. This is from Sub-Zero. Can you say that there? Up there, Sub-Zero. Yeah. That's clever. And this is the Viper, and it's. I suppose you would class it as they class it as a beginner's sub-ohm kit, which sounds, I suppose, kind of counterfactual, if you like, for want of a word. Clive Bates' site. Go there. Counterfactual.com.
Counterfactual.
CliveBates.com, sorry, the counterfactual, yes. Counterfactual means what would happen if we didn't do what we say we were going to do. If we left things alone, how would things carry on?
Right.
Really. Yes. So yes, this is it seems like a kind of beginner's sub-ohm sort of thing.
Looks a nifty bit of kit.
Well, let's put it on closely up, you can, and see how it looks. There it is, right? Look at, and to all intents and purposes, if I take the tank off the top, it's like an 1100 milliamp hour ego. That's what it looks like. Same sort of form factor, and you think when you look at it, especially the top bit here, put it the right way around, David. When you look at the connector, you think ego, right? And then go on, bring in one of your new toys. I finally bought one of these things. It's an ohms tester, right? So for resistance, it's for lazy buggers, and I am one. So let's screw the tank of it in, and you'll see 0.50, half an ohm. So it is most definitely sub-ohm. All right. Okay, let's go back onto camera 1. No, camera 2. Do camera 2. Then we're both of us in, and everybody can see me badge. Right. Where are we at? Screw it on. Screw it on. I'll show everybody. Screwed on. Right. First things first. It lights up. Right. Lights up with a little triangular thing. You can hear it. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, you can hear it. Right. Let's have a talk, and then you can have a talk. Is your chest better, by the way?
It's getting there.
Are you 100%?
No.
50%?
Oh yes.
75%?
Yes.
80%?
Probably.
85%?
Well, thereabouts.
Oh, well, 85% it's definitely better than 0%, isn't it?
Better than last week.
That's all we want to hear. I'm pleased to hear that, actually, because you were very chesty last week.
I was, yes.
And I like chesty women. I'm not that keen on chesty men.
Pleased you were concerned.
I was?
Oh,
I was quite worried.
Comforting to know.
I think so.
Right.
Shall I have a drag?
Yes.
Go on then, I will. Note to self, do not drink half a bottle of gin before you do a show. Or alternatively, given that you got the links into Skype and you got the show and everything created early, do drink half a bottle of gin by lunchtime on the day of a show. It's much better. Shall we have a talk? So here we go.
God.
That's on camera 1, which is approximately 8 feet away from me. I'll do it in camera 2.
Right.
Do it in camera 2. Sub-ohm. I pressed the wrong button. I pressed 3. It's your fault.
Blame me.
You are. Well, Jill told you to make sure I was sober. You failed. There you are. I'll freely admit that's a fairly long draw, but let's do some mind putting at rest. Now, Sav, you may turn on your microphone. I wish to speak with you, if that's all right with you, my dear.
Yes.
The first rule in VTTV: never work with a piss presenter. Tough titties. Here I am. Right, you were a bit worried on Tuesday night, were you not?
I was indeed.
Why was you worried on Tuesday night?
I was worried that tank could be fitted onto a normal Eagle battery.
You was. I remember that quite well. I will flick back to me. Hang on. Why am I not flicking back to me? Because I'm on pressed the wrong button. There you go. Right, I'll flick back to me, and I'm going to go to close up cam again. For here I have in my hand, and if I roll it around, you'll see. Ooh, there it is. Can you see what it says on there? It says AVOD. Is that AVOD battery? Right, a AVOD battery. So that is, to all intents and purposes, a normal Ego style battery. It has protections built in, as AVODs do, and as all of the quality Ego style batteries have. So what I shall do, and I'll do it on camera so you can see, I will screw together the AVOD and the Vapor tank, which, as we saw earlier on, runs at 0.5 ohm. And just to prove, press the button and you can see the little light lighting up. That says there's power in the battery, doesn't it? It does. Are you with us so far, Sav?
I am.
Good. Right, so we'll go back to me, and I am about to have the world's longest draw on. So you know what I'm like. I love parting with vapor. The more vapor, the better, as far as I'm concerned. If it looks like a cumulonimbus and there's a thunderstorm starts, I'm happy as Larry. So I shall have a go. Oh, open the airflow, David. Go on then. Go to camera 1, then people can see what you're doing, and hold it so they can see whether the light lights up. I'm sucking me pluck out and nothing but nothing is happening. In other words, one of these things will not fire on an AVOD battery or any other Ego battery. Now, we've had a bit of a play. I've had a bit of a try to work out, and I don't know whether this is going to work. Excuse me if it doesn't, but if I put that right in the centre of the camera arrow and zoom in, you will be able to see where I need something to point with, and I haven't got anything. I'll use my finger. You'll be able to see where that top of the Ego connector is sitting. Can you make that out? Is that makeable outable? I'm not sure. Right, if I take that off the AVOD battery, which you'll be able to tell is not the Vapor battery because it's got a round thing, and put the Vapor battery back on, and then do exactly the same thing, you will note that the top piece of that goes slightly higher. It's not much, but it's enough. So if I take that out and show you inside, I hope to help. Oh, it's focused. Look at that, it's focused. It's very, very deep in, is that. And if I hope that focuses as well. Bloody hell it does, look at that. I don't know if you can see, but that centre connector is set in such a way that it's not reachable, or the centre contact doesn't appear to reach the centre connector on the AVOD. So yes, bottom line for those of you that need to know is I don't think that will run on an ordinary Ego battery. So from that point of view, it's safe. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. The bloody thing oughtn't to be as good as it is. This thing kicks it out. It just does. Wasn't a particularly long draw, was it?
No.
No. You want to go? Airy is an airy thing.
God, it's light.
It is, isn't it? It's not very heavy.
So I can operate this normally, can
Yes, you press the button and suck. Is it too airy?
Yeah.
I'll close the air holes down. I can do that. I can do that on your camera. Look. Close the air holes down.
God, I'm just surprised at the lightness of it.
It's very light. 1100 milliamp hour battery, that is. What do you reckon?
Nice.
It's alright, is it?
Yeah. I mean, that's... I mean, it doesn't come across particularly as a beginner's piece of kit, does it?
But it's
I just admire its simplicity.
I've got a horrible feeling here.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Is that nice, is it?
Got
Thank
a
you.
decent sized tank as well.
Well, it's 1.8 mil. So, depending on how the consultation goes, depending on what they call a leak-free mechanism,
Yeah.
then that if that was to get through, that would get through. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't last very long, right? You do need to refill it relatively regularly, and the tank itself does get quite warm. But those of us that were at Harrogate, it's in Yorkshire, you know, Harrogate.
Oh, is it? Right.
Oh,
I didn't realise that.
Aye. Yorkshire.
You haven't mentioned that.
Have I not?
No.
No, it's in Yorkshire. It's in Harrogate in Yorkshire. Not too far out at centre of town.
One of the most expensive places in the country.
You
to buy a
are.
house.
It's one of the most expensive places in the country to get around in for 3 people.
Yes.
Blood and sand, £14.80 for 3 drinks.
Really?
Really?
I'm not surprised.
I'm not bloody living there, I'm telling you that for now. What worries you, Sav?
Well, again, I mean, there's been a fair bit of chat about it in chat, funnily enough, and we're saying it doesn't fit onto the EVOD, but it fitted onto that Ego connector on the tester to make connection to test how it was.
It did.
It did. So there are going to be some batteries out there that it is going to fit on, especially if you've got an adapter, an Ego adapter or something.
You are not wrong.
Yeah, and it just, I was talking, Neil was saying in chat, he just wishes that there was something just slightly different to make that not a possibility.
Well, there was talk on Tuesday night, and I shall refer to this because I think it was good chat, that it might be a good idea to have a different connector for high wattage devices. I'm not going to call them sub-ohm, I'm going to call them high wattage devices. In other words, devices that will go up and above the 11 watts that kind of normal stuff would go with. Now, whether that would be an 801 type connector or a 901 type connector or a bayonet connector or a watt connector, I don't know. But it might make sense to do that such that it was impossible to put a low resistance device, top end thing, onto a battery that wasn't capable of it. There is another route, of course, which is one that says every battery that goes out ought to be capable of handling 0.1 ohms or 0.01 ohms, really sub-ohm for want of a better phrase, without causing problems or handling it elegantly. My feeling is that this EVOD battery itself looks at that and goes, nah, not having it. But if you think to like everyday stuff, and I keep on bringing this back to ovens and light bulbs, I know I do, but if you want a dim light in your house, you put a 10 watt bulb in, don't you? Mm-hmm. And a 10 watt bulb is a very high resistance in relative terms. If you want it bright, you put a 100 watt bulb in, don't you?
Yes.
And a 100 watt bulb effectively is a much lower resistance, and if you've got a 500 watt bulb, then that all works. And that all works because at your distribution panel board thing in your garage or wherever it is, there's a fuse in there that if you get it really wrong, it just goes not playing.
Yes.
I think all batteries ought to be like that. All battery units ought to be like that. Unfortunately, that's going to really piss off the people that like mech mods, unless the protection is built into the 18650 or 26650 or whatever it is they're using. But I think, just, you know, in terms of the consultation that is ongoing, we've got to look at stuff like that. The ability, as I said on Monday, was that when we did the Millie? Monday, yes. People, when they go into a shop, right, they have an expectation that whatever they're going to buy isn't going to kill them. right?
Yes.
That your 40-inch waist trousers are not going to cut your circulation off and make your legs drop off. That your pressure cooker is not going to end up being a pipe bomb. That the oven that you buy is going to do what it says on the tin and it's going to cook your bread at 250 degrees when it's at 250 degrees, and so on and so on and so forth. And that's exactly the same with e-cigs. Somebody going into a shop that knows bugger all about them has an expectation that he can buy something, anything, off the shelf, and no matter what he puts with what, it's not going to kill him, it's not going to blow up, it's not going to do anything stupid. That's the expectation they have, and that, I think, is the expectation that every manufacturer and vendor ought to be cognizant of, and producing stuff that will do exactly that, without any kind of, oh, by the way, you can't do this, by the way, you can't do that. It should just bloody work. And I don't know whether that's wrong. I don't know. Is it?
No, I would agree entirely.
I think that's pretty close enough to right.
What sort of price bracket do these fall in then?
Well under 30 quid.
Right.
I haven't been able to get. I mean, they're brand new to the market. I don't even know if they're on the market yet. I've got to say, I would quite happily keep that in the car as me backup. I would stick it in the bag as me backup. I would carry it around as me backup, because these days I'm using the kind of stuff that you can do this with. That that's the Volcano Tube Tank Pro. Tune into Marco next week and you'll hear more about that. But yeah, it is. It's you know, it's a neat piece of kit.
Lightweight, simple.
It's handy to get you home if you run out. If you're just thinking about sticking your toes into what is broadly perceived as sub-ohm, I call high wattage vaping, then it's not a bad start at all. I like it. Dave Kitson likes it. Rog, Whip It Up, likes it. It shouldn't do what it does, but it does it, and it seems to do it safely enough, is what I'm going to say. I do. I quite like that. And I've just looked up at the clock on the top of the wall,
10, yes,
and it's after 10 o'clock. And the thunder hasn't hit me. I have 2 hours left of today. Cheers to me grandsons.
Yes, happy birthday, Dave.
Yes.
I don't normally make a big thing of it, but I've got to be honest and say I didn't expect to hit 30. 30?
You look good for an old stick.
I didn't expect to hit 60. I really didn't. Most of my dad's family had carked it by the time they were 60. My dad was the longest lived at 65. He smoked all his life, so did all his brothers and sisters. I've been on e-cigs the last 6 years. I'm going to tell you, and I don't often do this, I don't normally get gushy. I never ever thought about quitting. Never. I tried it once, I didn't bloody like it. It was horrible. Cold turkey job. My brain went to jelly. I was useless, completely useless, and I said, right, that's it. Never packing in again, right? I've been over 6 years now without lit tobacco cigarettes, and I'm here to tell you, all right, I've put a little bit of weight on.
A tiny bit.
I think that's testament to a good wife.
Oh yes.
I do. I really do. I feel fitter now than I felt when I was 50. I think e-cigs are the best thing that has happened to everybody in the last 50 years. That's what I think. And I think e-cigs are going to allow me to see both my grandsons take their wives down the aisle in whatever way they decide to do, tie the knot, jump the broomstick, and suffer the rest of the way the rest of the married men of this world have suffered. And I'm here to tell you, I've suffered so gorgeously. It's been amazing. I think e-cigs are the best things on the planet. I really do. And I think the TPD is the worst thing that anybody could ever have done. There you go. I never thought I'd see 60. I've seen it. I'm so happy I've seen it, and I'm so happy I've been able to share this day with all of you that are in chat and that will watch on video on demand as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you as well to Keith and Sav, who've been sat in there doing production between them. I know, alright, bugger, the gin's talking, but I'm going to tell you something for a certain fact. If you ever want a friend, you'll never find a better one than Sav. I'm telling you that for a certain fact. If you ever want a sister, talk to Kat. I haven't got one of my own. I've had to borrow her, and she's been the best sister a man could ever have. She's been really good, and I'm dead pleased. And we don't have a fat lot in common other than e-cigs, but we get on like a house on fire. And Keith, I've got to say this, mate, I'm going to embarrass you now, and I sort of, I don't care, I'm going to embarrass you. As somebody that's relatively recently joined the VTTV team, let me say, I am over the moon with your dedication, with your ability to pick stuff up and the work that you're doing. Yeah, I'm starting to get a bit... Yes,
the gin.
Can you take that bottle off him now?
I've got it they're quite safe. It's down here. He won't get it again.
Hey, listen, thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I hope it's been instructional. I'm looking forward to seeing the Sigeli 150 and 75 when they arrive. But until we see you next time, vape on, vape hard, and don't let the bastards grind you down. Till we see you on the flip side, take care of each other, be good to each other, and enjoy life to the max. Bye-bye.
Bye.